Alright, so today is going to be another full day of eating video, but instead of focusing more on like my recipes and cooking and whatnot, I'm going to focus a little bit more on some of the tactics and principles that I follow to build muscle with my diet. I am going to show everything that I eat today, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I eat what I eat to build muscle. With that being said, I will see you guys with meal number 1. Alright, so first meal, we got oatmeal. 40 grams of oats, scoop of protein powder, 32 grams of peanut butter. Looks really good. And then pure protein bar. This is the chocolate deluxe one. So the first thing that I'm gonna go over is kind of how I structure my diet and why I do it that way. So I like to have 5 smaller meals per day, spread out around every 3 hours. The reason for this is 1, whenever you eat smaller, more frequent meals, it actually optimizes your metabolism, gets it firing all throughout the day. 2, it keeps you fuller. Having just steady streams of protein throughout the day really keep me full. And I've noticed that switching from intermittent fasting, which is basically where you eat in only a certain window of the day, but you can have bigger meals. And that compared to having the more smaller, frequent meals throughout the day, I feel much fuller actually eating more meals. As well as I've noticed an increase in my metabolism, and I've also noticed I've been able to build more muscle having, 30 to 40 grams of protein every 3 hours during the day. When I did the intermittent fasting, I would have 2 really big meals. So it was like I was just having a mass amount of protein twice a day. Whereas now I'm able to have smaller meals with 30 to 50 grams of protein. And I think that my body's just able to absorb that more. So that is the first kind of principle tactic that I use. 5 small meals a day with 30 to 50 grams of protein. Since I am eating 3,000 calories right now, they're all around 600 calorie meals. A little bit less though, because I do have a couple snacks that I like to have throughout the day. When you have less meals throughout the day, it can actually lead to a slower metabolism. Before I completely fill my mouth with chocolate, a few things to show. I'm gonna be having one of these. I like to drink these in the morning. Gives me my little morning caffeine, morning coffee. And then these things are like these Monster energy peanut ball type things. So I eat 2 of these a day, just kind of randomly whenever I feel like it. 130 each. Calories for that should be on the screen because I don't want to forget. All right, here we got meal number 2. We got 6 ounces of ground turkey. It's the 99% lean one. 28 grams of 2% milk, Mexican style cheese, and then some Taco Bell hot sauce. And these are the carb balanced flour tortillas. They're like 70 calories each. That looks really, really good. I'm excited to eat it. And then before I forget to show you guys, I'm gonna be having one of those fudge brownie ice cream Yasso bars. They're 100 calories. Macros for that meal should be on the screen, but now that I've kind of gone over how I structure my day with my eating, now I'm gonna go a little bit more into how I actually decide how many calories I'm gonna eat. So if you follow my Instagram or if you've been watching my progress, some people have noticed that it seems like I'm getting bigger, stronger, and leaner at the same time. Kind of sounds a little suspicious, like I might be taking a little something extra, but I'm not. But I have had some people ask me like if I'm taking anything. I'm still natty, still 100% natty. I'm not even taking like Drakestrone or anything. I'm literally just taking creatine. But what I attribute all that to is adding in calories very slowly with reverse dieting, which I have talked about in a lot of videos. But it's true, whenever you slowly add in calories, you're slowly boosting your metabolism, and it just really puts me in a good state to build muscle. So the way that I do it is I add in 50 calories per week. So I started off, 2200 whenever I was done cutting. And then from there, I've just added 50 calories every week. Now I'm at 3000. I ended my cut, I think at like 173 around there. And right now I am 175, 176. So in the past 3 months, I've really only gained 3 pounds. Just having the increased amount of carbs and calories makes me look a lot fuller, especially in the gym whenever I have a pump. Because my overall weight difference hasn't changed that much, but my strength has increased and I look a lot fuller. And again, a lot of that is because with my diet, I am slowly adding calories with reverse dieting. When you eat more carbs, have more sodium, you're just gonna look fuller in the gym just because of all the extra glycogen that's being stored in your muscles. Whenever I was cutting and in that kind of steeper calorie deficit, I was just really depleted, so I might have looked a little bit smaller. I'm definitely not as lean. Like if I compare 2 pictures of me right now compared to whenever I was done cutting, definitely am not as lean, but I do look a lot bigger and I have put on some muscle that I can just tell by the strength increase. All right, so the next meal I'll go into like my macros and how I plan all that out because I know that that is kind of a confusing thing for some people. But first off, we gotta enjoy meal number 2 because it looks absolutely amazing. Here we have meal number 3. We have 6 ounces of chicken, 50 grams of white rice with 20 grams of spinach, and then some low calorie sauce. Same old, if you watched any of my full days of eating before, I have had this meal for like the last 3 years. All right, so the next thing I want to cover is my macros and how I figure them out. So today, I think I'm going to be having kind of a higher protein day, but typically what I like to shoot for is at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. There's a bunch of different schools of thoughts. I've seen things from like having 0.4 grams per pound of body weight to even like 2.2 grams. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different things that people say. But for me, I've tried out kind of different amounts of protein, and what works best for me is having anywhere between like 1 to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. Protein in itself just fills me up a little bit more, because usually whenever you have something with protein, it's like chicken or turkey or any sort of kind of calorie dense food. So it's very filling. And then in terms of my fat, I like to do about 0.5 grams per pound of body weight. Typically I'll go anywhere between 0.4 to 0.6. Just in that range. Obviously, if you weigh like 300 pounds, then you probably don't need 150 grams of fat. I stick to between, whenever I'm cutting, a low of like 50 to 60, and then bulking between 80 and 100. And then the rest is just carbs. What I like to recommend to people is figure out how many calories you're going to eat. So I mean 3,000, and then get in at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. For me, I'm eating closer to 210 a day, so I eat a little bit more than that. The minimum, I would say, would be 1 gram per pound of body weight. And then, like I said earlier, half your body weight in fat. So for me, I think right now I'm eating about 80 to 90 grams or something like that, and I weigh about 175 pounds. And then the rest are carbs, just to fill in the rest of the calories, which right now is between like 350 to 400. I think for macros, the most important thing is just hitting your calories and protein, because overall, to lose or gain weight, it just is about being in a calorie surplus or calorie deficit. I made a video talking about should you bulk or cut. I guess at this point it'd be 2 weeks ago, I think. So if you want to go check that out, you can, to kind of get a little bit more of an in-depth explanation on the macros and calories that you should eat. But yeah, that's why I figure out my macros, and this meal looks really good, so I'm gonna eat it real quick, and then I'm also going to show you what I'm having after, because I have to have some sort of sweet treat. So I'll put the macros for the chicken and the next thing that I'm having up on the screen right now, and I'll show you guys it in a minute. All right, so it's like 5 minutes later. I ate that really fast because I was really hungry. But here is my next thing, and this again was included in the macros I showed. So it's these M&M little cookie sandwiches, and you may be thinking like, wow, how does this help you build muscle or whatnot? And I'll get into that whenever I have my next meal, because it's kind of like my next topic. But I just want to show you guys, because I bought these yesterday and I tried one yesterday, and I got completely clickbaited by how this looks. Okay, it's like the biggest false advertisement I've ever got scammed on, basically. So looking at the box, right, it looks like a nice little cookie with M&Ms and ice cream. Looks really good. It even specifically says like not a reduced fat food. So like I'm assuming that it's gonna be just one of those like really good cookie sandwiches. So this is what it looks like in real life. Like I don't know if you can tell, but like look at the picture and look at that. So yeah, just like a disclaimer, if you're gonna get those, it does not look like the picture, but I'm still gonna eat it. I think they're only like 230 calories or something like that. Here we have meal number 4, chocolate chip Kodiak pancakes, and then sugar-free syrup on them. I'll put the macros for that on the screen. All right, so going off what I was talking about earlier with the ice cream sandwich and stuff, I would say that to build muscle and to actually stay consistent with your diet, it's really important to have balance. Typically, day to day, I probably eat about 80% clean foods, 20% not clean. I mean, that's not exact, but like roughly I would say. I wouldn't even consider the pancakes not clean, or however you would describe a clean food or not, because it is protein pancakes. But I'm able to stick to my diet a lot better just because I have things like the ice cream sandwiches and whatnot. Some days I go and get like a Rice Krispie treat with M&Ms, or I have a Snickers bar. It just helps me to stay on track with my diet. I still stay within my calories. Moral of the story is, if you're eating clean most of the time, then maybe have a few things throughout the day that aren't clean or just are for pleasure because it tastes good. That's okay. Because something I realized, especially when I cut, is that if I eat the same thing every single day, I actually plateau a lot and don't lose any weight. And it's whenever I switch up things in my diet that I'm able to lose more weight. And it's kind of the same with bulking and gaining weight. So that's why I do like the 80-20 split, and then do 2 cheat meals a month. Look at that, looks fire. So I'm gonna enjoy those, and then I'll see you with my little pre-workout snack. It's not really a meal, just for the pump. All right, we had to have an intermission on the pancake eating because Aubrey decided that she needed me to make her a pancake too. And that one looks perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that looks
it really
good.
does.
But yeah, do you wanna say hi?
Hi guys.
Pre-workout, I'm gonna be having 2 Rice Krispie treats, 180 calories. And then it usually depends on the day, but most days I have this Jack Factory Nitro Surge pre-workout. My arm looks really weird like this, but yeah. It has like 180 milligrams of caffeine, but today I had 2 energy drinks, so I'm just going to have to steal some of Aubrey's Pump Surge because I'm out of it. That's just the non-stim one, just with pump stuff in it without any caffeine. We are going to hit some back and biceps today, pull day, and then I will show you guys my final meal and my final little tips for a good muscle building diet. So we'll see you guys at the gym. Alrighty, here we go. Final meal, 70 grams of Reese's Puffs clusters, and then a Premier protein shake post-workout. Get some protein and carbs in. Put the macros for that on the screen right now. The last thing that I want to go over, which I kind of did a little bit earlier, is cheat meals. So whenever I have been dieting in the past and I've been losing weight, I've noticed that whenever I plateau and have a cheat meal, then I kind of start to expedite that process again. And it kind of applies to bulking too, where, you know, I'm slowly adding calories, but, you know, it kind of gets to the point where I feel like I'm plateauing. So having a 500 to 600 calorie surplus cheat meal, or kind of just cheat day, it doesn't necessarily have to just be one meal, it can just be like throughout the day. I just have the 500 to 600 calorie surplus. I noticed that it definitely speeds things up. It just helps to get everything going again. Another thing is that I do not eat the same thing every day. That is a big thing that I've learned in the past. Whenever I'm cutting, it's really easy to eat the same thing every day. And same with bulking, it's really easy to try to just eat, you know, my chicken and rice, my Reese's Puffs, whatever. And I do eat a lot of the same things every day, but I do switch it up also. Like some days I'll have a protein shake and smoothie. Some days I'll make different variations. I might do like chicken tacos or just different things to try to switch it up. Because I do think whenever you eat the exact same thing every day, you kind of just get complacent and you don't really grow anymore, because your body's just so used to having that same amount of fuel, and it kind of just starts to maintain off of that. So that's why, especially whenever you're bulking and try to build muscle, it's good to switch things up and eat different things. It doesn't have to be like drastic. It can just be like, you know, maybe one week you eat a certain way, then the next week you switch something up, you know, because I know that with schedules it can be easy to eat the same thing every day. So just at least every few weeks change things up, or, you know, have certain days where you change things up. I kind of just go based off of how I feel and kind of what sounds good, but that's just what works for me. I have a lot of free time to cook and whatnot just because I am in college. But anyway, that is my last tip. Hopefully throughout this day of my eating, you have also gained some knowledge on, you know, some ways to build muscle and bulk. And it kind of applies to cutting to a lot of the stuff that I do. And yeah, that was my whole diet. 5 meals totaling in 3,000 calories. I'll put the total macros up on the screen right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like. Comment below any videos that you want in the future, or just any thoughts, questions, concerns that you have on this one. Subscribe if you're new. I think we're really close to 900 subscribers at this point, so I'm trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, and I really think we can do it. But yeah, it's like midnight now, so I'm just gonna eat this, watch a little bit of TV, and then go to bed. So I'll see you guys next week. Peace.